long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
Are you sure? Them sorcerers from the caravan?
They'd be daft to come back. And as long as there's no sorcerers, there's no void woken. You're fine as long as you don't go wandering.
This town looks peaceful enough. Let's find out if looks deceive.
Oh, we dwarves had a kingdom, and we will have it back. I won't always be sweeping, I'll be riding horseback. We dwarves had a kingdom, and a proud knight was I. I won't always be sweeping, for my kingdom I'll die.
Vapid fiction, along with a large helping of ham.
Lucian's Day coming and I can't afford tatters. What's the world coming to?
My word, but you do look exhausted. I bet you could use a touch of magic. Have at it.
You're safe among
Got yourself situated.
Never forget it.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not while you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Yep.
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starving, along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Keep talking, dwarf, and you'll end up eating sawdust from a cell floor.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. It's not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Calm as a coiled spring held tight, this silent watcher stands tense before you. It seems to be waiting for something.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. More humans! Just what we needed.
You needing supplies? I'd stock up if I were you. It's madness out there. Never seen anything like it. Anything more?
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Hear ye! Bishop Alexander was slain by singers. Culprits to the large.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Until later, then.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Not cold for the junk you sell, then.
Keeping it together, Bree?
Nothing less than the
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar. I don't come visiting you, who will?
Glad to see you well.
Nothing good. The void woken are everywhere. Thank the divine you're here to protect us.
Aye. Yes, of course.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Until later, then.
Keeping it
Hey,
together.
this news! Fresh from the war owl! Hear all about it! Many a latest, my friend. The war, the bishop, ain't looking too good for them lizards. Word is that if you remember what happened to the elves, don't Seven save us. Stabbed in the back he was, by them vile, low-born, treacherous seekers. Kill 'em all, I say. Do 'em like Magister Raymond did old Lady Seaver. That'll teach them traitors. I mean, they doomed us all, didn't they? The son of the divine is dead. Gone. Who'll save us now? Jolly Justinia, Queen of the Dwarves. Ha! Scourge, more like. Here's 20 or so noble gentlemen. No one knows what they did wrong, if anything, and she has them stripped and whipped all the way to the execution grounds. Didn't even give them the dignity of the sword. No, ma'am. Had them all hung. Real slow-like. You ask me, and I say she's mad as a mink with its tail on fire. Queen or no queen.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it. Wars are brewing, my friend, and I'll stand by your side. But prices will go up, even for one of our own. Buy now and buy often. Special prices for you, my friend. Gotta stick with your own in times of trouble, right? War is hell, my friend, but it's very good for business. Good luck to you.
Keeping it together, Ree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, Ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Hear ye! Hear ye! Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
Keeping it together, Ree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Bishop Alexander!
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, Ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Ree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends.
Queen
Never forget
Justinia
it.
executes 24 noblemen for insubordination!
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Hear ye! Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
Keeping it together, Ree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, Ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together. together, Bree.
I'm all right.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Protect against those like
Queen Justinia executes 24 noblemen for insubordination.
how you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
I think that lunatic Siva is loose again. We won't be so gentle when we catch her this time. Damn it! Magister Raymond wanted word in the caravan, but I had hoped the news would not be so...
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Hello, missus.
The little boy looks at you. He picks his nose.
You be careful. My daddy's a magister. No, he's not. His daddy's a fisherman like most daddies round here.
They stare at you in disbelief.
You're weird. We're waiting for our friend. He went for a swim. He went swimming all the way to Fort Happy. Fort Joy? That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's going to find his mum and bring her back. Cool. How did you know that? Mrs., have you seen our friend Joe?
Tell them the truth about Joe. They have to grow up sometime.
What they don't know can't hurt them. Don't tell them.
Kids are resilient. Tell them the truth.
The horror grows on their little faces.
No, that's a horrible thing to say. I bet it wasn't Joe. I bet it was...
She bursts into tears, then looks from you to her and back again, then starts crying too. After a moment, the crying subsides.
So where's Joe?
They look puzzled, but the little boy seems to
I think we should go home. Come on, Ben. Bye-bye, Mr. Lady Missus.
They skip away, still children, but now, somehow, older than before.
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
You too, Julian. Show 'em how it's done, man.
By the sun, these sacks weigh like lead. It's a disgrace I have to toil like this. I'm a magister, not a damn silent monk.
That's it. The barrels and the chests. Go on, you mute sacks of flesh. Put your backs into it. The Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow with Dallas's breath.
The Magister stops, barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
You do not get to make that decision. Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods? We do cruel things unto others and unto ourselves because we...
He licks his lips.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Oh, no, that won't do at all. Innocence is a mask that doesn't fit you. I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need a sauce hound yapping at my side. There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth, that is to say, sauce. Best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods toss on dwarf-troubled waters. But they do. I'm quite capable, but as you can see, I'm also preparing to set sail. And who will deal with them when I'm gone? Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule? A beast of burden? But some defy that role. There are rats among them. Dancing, I've need of a rat catcher. Of course, I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will stay behind and be a good little parrot.
Stay behind? But I've my orders. Same as you.
Like I said, Julian is staying. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of stringing? How very... One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. A stranger like you may run into trouble. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little face. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The time has come, my stitched-lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
Aye, the giant takes notice of its charges. Ask away, Shield. How to explain it, Quercus? Do you think giants understand chivalric orders? Can they conceive of honor, of faith? Oh, Quercus, I am not talking down to it. Quite literally the opposite, in fact. I just worry it won't treat a group of mystic squirrel knights forming a doomsday cult dedicated to ending the world with a giant acorn with the seriousness it deserves.
The squirrel and the cat both look at you.
You see, this is exactly what I'm talking about, Quercus. Yes, it has shown it can adapt to unexpected circumstances. I suppose we can give it this chance, at least. The thing that you must understand about the Knights of Dre is that they are utter fanatics. Nothing matters to them but the return of the great acorn and the destruction of the giant races. Quercus and I, we have come across this cult before. We have seen what they can do. I cannot let that happen to Rivellon, and I alone have the magical expertise to stop them. Not that it matters. No one else will even listen. For that, if nothing else, you have my thanks. Now, was there anything else? Indeed, Quercus.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes. None the worse for wear, apparently.
You! The damn recruit! I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't for you.
Yes, I am very much aware. Wasn't my damned head that hit the floor back there.
Now answer me. Did you meet with the Magister caravan on your way into town? The hour's growing late and I'm beginning to worry something might have gone wrong. By the Bishop's bones, you saw it! Out with it, woman! What happened? Void woken. That means Source was used. Which means some third party must have attacked first. And I've a fair idea who that might have been. Raymond, that old goat, always suspected there's more to the Driftwood Dwarves than meets the eye. Hate to admit it, but I think he may be right. Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's Coast to attribute to bad luck. Magister ship sinking, weapons disappearing, and as you've seen, a caravan attacked and destroyed. Rumour has it the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. They've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour, sure. And hard workers, too. Half of them are their Queen's spies. Her eyes, her ears, her poison-pouring hands. You know what Queen Justinia is like, surely. A tyrant and a master strategist to boot. There's a local thug, Lohar. He runs an operation out of his hideout beneath the Black Bull Tavern. I suspect this man of being a spy for his queen.
It may be interesting to have a word with him. Find out what he's up to. Where I really want you to ferret around is Reaper's Bluffs, to the west of Driftwood.
It's wild territory, remote and hostile, where I believe the dwarves may have set up a base of operations away from prying eyes. Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working in behalf of Queen Justinia, you will be handsomely rewarded, I assure you. In that case, go forth and let the hunt commence!
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
They don't come to
Elton, my inkwell is dry. Fix me some more.
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. In your case, more than I suspect, man, god or even reptile can provide. However, it is not enough to be god-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul. Quite. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the Magister to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. I pray my instructions will not be too technical for you. Your tapush, the button. Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you. No amount of sheer force you exert can budge the slab even a hair's breadth. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the time...
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, God-woken.
Ancient runes, weird contraptions.
Feel free to look
this
up how I
place is
catch
an
my
alchemist's dream.
Come speak to me when you wish to proceed. And try not to break anything in the meantime.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, God-woken? Then it's time to smarten up. This responsibility isn't one of the meek, the selfish, or, in your case, the ignorant. No, becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the races. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use her power for anything else. When you become the divine, there is no more self.
For just a moment, her eyes soften as she looks at you.
It is no small thing to ask, but it is your duty. Without a new divine, Rivellon will die.
The Meister's claws lash out, grabbing you by the scruff of the neck and pulling you close. You can...
As much as I appreciate the fine pedigree of your stupidity, do listen carefully. You cannot risk failure. The only thing you can use the powers of the Divine for is to protect Rivellon.
She releases you with a twist of her claws, her breath ragged and uneven, her cold eyes glittering in the candlelight.
Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing fountain. Ritual in the tome by the bookcase. Even an incinerator.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Once, although not by a god woken. My assistant did not believe that one had to be chosen by a god to become divine.
She waves a bandaged hand absent-mindedly,
A headstrong and thoughtless girl, but the experience was... was quite educational. From observing her, I gather that the ritual involves inhaling the smoke, a lot of screaming, and a rather sudden death. Well, certainly. It is not my place to police the stupidity of others. I have to admit I was curious. Imagine if it had been a success. Why, then anyone could have ascended, even I... Alas, success was beyond her reach. Quite fascinating to watch, though. I've never seen a body burn from the inside out before. And do not lose anything. These ingredients are rare indeed. I'm not hiking back out to the cloisterwood to fetch...
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot, nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and drudene oil. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed.
simple. Perform the ritual. Ingredients in the cupboard, ritual in the book.
Good find.
Are you simple? Perform the ritual. Ingredients in the cupboard, ritual in the book, sauce in the fountain. Go!
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients. You explore the remaining.
Lucky find.
As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
The deepest recess of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Ah, there you are. I've been waiting for you. I was worried you weren't coming. No need to get rude. I come bearing a gift. Look into my eyes. Now wait. Wait. Ah. Now speak the spell and see what I've gotten for us.
There. That's a bit more familiar. So, go on. Pretty fantastic, isn't it? You're a step closer toward becoming like one of them now. I gave you a gift. Made you like one of the gods. A bit, anyway. You can see spirits now. Try it next time you cut some innocent to bits. You'll be able to find out just what their sweet little soul thinks of you. Certainly. And here I am, all by my lonesome. The other Godwoken will find one of the 7 hiding out in their souls, you know. Shriveled, half-dead gods looking to steal source from their chosen in exchange for the power to see spirits. They need source, and they're running out of it. Soon enough, there'll be little more than dead, dry husks, light enough to knock down with a puff of air. That is, unless they get help. Why would they want you? You think the gods have any use for a two-bit singer with a parade of unpredictables marching through her head? You may be god-woken, but that doesn't make you worthy. But that doesn't matter, Losa. I saw something special in you. Something they didn't see. That's enough. You'll be sorry you ever spoke to me that way. Look what you can do. You can bless. You can see the spirits of the world. When will you believe that all I want is to see you, to see us, succeed? The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching them in ways I only dreamed were possible. Drop by drop, they drain away, and your path forward becomes all the clearer. The gods have gone into hiding within your fellow Godwoken. They seek to become what we are, stronger together, unstoppable together. But we are far ahead of them already, and I know where we must go next. The Well of Ascension. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Aren't you listening? The Well is a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. The Seven, fools that they are, each gave up half their powers to create the first divine. To bathe in the lake is to become divine. We'll do more than that, though. Feeling thirsty? That's step 3 out of 3. You've still got some ground to tread before we get there. But don't worry. It's for the best. The gods are weak. Weaker than I expected. The void is nearly here. You need to go to the Well of Ascension and absorb the source of the Seven. All of it. Then you'll become a god. How does that sound? Without me, you would have died in a shipwreck before you even got to Fort Joy. I have been good to you, Losa. Remember that. The world needs someone to safeguard it against the void. With the powers of the gods, you'll do a great job. We'll make our way to the lake. But not yet. Not until you've become a true master of the Source. You'll need to learn to speak the language of creation itself. It won't be easy. You'll need to find tutors, masters of the Source. People who can teach you to increase the volume of Source you can control. Few remain, and the ones who do have been driven to the brink of survival. The Order has made certain of that. Still, I have full faith in you, Losa. You'll find them, and you'll convince them to teach you. Once you have, find me here again. We'll move forward from there. Till next time, darling. Go on, scoot.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What'd you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hack up the last of the green smoke.
You can't channel enough sauce? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? Indeed not. And ever more difficult when you've been purged. I was a master of sauce once, but no longer. The Magisters saw to that. The river of my sauce has been dammed. My link to the font from which it flows, severed. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only sauce masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. These are the kinds of creatures that grew bored pulling the legs from spiders and so moved on to people. Fun is not the word I would choose. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters, on finding the secrets to the Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource. But do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A god woken in my presence. You honor me.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself and convince myself that I am special. But I am not special. I am dead.
Quercus, what are you looking at? Egad, stop gawking at the shield. You ought to be quite used to such journeys into that stone realm by now. Meanwhile, the acorn draws nearer. I read through some tomes I saw that cranky old lizard carry. Some fascinating leads, but nothing like the power we need to stop the Knights of Dre and their wicked plot. Our gargantuan friend has something of a one-track mind, Quercus? Why are all giants so focused on taking all they can? Yes, our shield may have given a lot of itself. I had noticed, you know. I owe our shield my life several times over. I hardly need to grovel and thank it each time. I'm sure it... No. Now, if you're quite finished ogling your favourite long-legged scratching post, we need to get on and save the world already.
Back. She doesn't feel like playing, but...
Blessings of the divine upon you, my lady. My husband and I were just sitting down for a picnic under the sun. We haven't much to offer, but would you care to join us? Wonderful. Come, sit. Oh, there you go, all cosy. So tell me, are you heading to Arks like we are? Nicholas and I wouldn't miss Lucy, and that's so lovely to hear. The more pilgrims pray, so come, let us break bread and strengthen ourselves for the journey. We have a sacred duty ahead of us.
You eat, drink, and have a good time of it with Glory and her husband, Nick. Let it be known henceforth to each and every subject here and everywhere that, in the absence of our beloved Alexander, Bishop Divine, slain with malice and injustice by foul sorcerers, as were let fly by the perfidious lizards of the ancient empire, with the aid, the divine order of Lucian is now led by his son's most trusted Dallis, Hammer of the Divine. Saviour of the Hammer shall take counsel from her most trusted. Hail to the Hammer, 7 times...
Trusted advisors, eh? Who do you think it is? The Void Dragon, Damien, Leandra, and Orthring?
Deep down, someone like Dallas only trusts herself. I wonder if that new advisor of hers realizes that.
Wilson, my inkwell is dry. Fetch me some more.
Right away.
The Magister startles, realizing there's a...
What do you want? You can't just come in here as you please. There's Magisters missing. I'm trying to conduct a bloody investigation. Well, mind your bloody step in future. I've an investigation to carry out, and I don't need any more distractions. Yes, a vile little tinkerer goes by the name of Higba. 3 of my Magisters have gone missing of late from right here in Driftwood. All signs are that Higba is responsible. Hardly. By all accounts, he seemed like just another money-grubbing nobody. He must have caught my Magisters unawares. It's the only explanation. No matter, he'll face justice either way. If you catch sight of that dog, tell me or my men at once. Understand? Well, do you know anything? Stop wasting my time, then.
You're doing okay, boy of mine. You there.
Ma, I'm fine.
Fine, Bub, you're a hero. What am I going to do?
Surrounded by incompetence. I deserve a better posting.
You're doing okay, boy of mine.
Ma, I'm fine. Right away.
Well, there's a fun face. Byron and I are patching up before we head home. You stay out of trouble now.
Elsa, my inkwell is
Course,
dry.
sir.
Fetch me some.
Right away. I'm watching you, stranger.
Surrounded by
Magister's dropping left and right. Can't say I'm shedding any tears.
Most divine! We wait. We wander and
He
wonder.
fixes you with a stare, looks you up and down, weighs you up, the cut of your cloth, the weight of your bag. Then a smile creases his face, a smile carefully constructed to look...
Greetings, stranger. Looking to ease the pain of a decaying world? You're in the right place. Beers are ordered at the bar, but can I interest you in a nourishing bowl of stew? A bold choice, on the face of it, unless you're lucky.
He raises an eyebrow and gives you a...
Against the void. Taken too early. All hope destroyed.
He purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as he assesses you. A lascivious smile spreads across...
Let me ask you this. Across the world, who is renowned above all others for their exquisite... Perhaps one day I'll get desperate enough to disabuse you, my friend. The very best lovers are... Whisper it. Lizards. The price, I'm afraid. We don't have anything else to discuss, so...
Is the greater good?
I don't...
Another sorcerer on the loose. I knew they should have cut off the Meister's head and burned their head.
Keep your eyes peeled, will you? Ramos the Wanderer promised he'd be here.
Killed by sorcerers. A most vile incident.
Hey, up! If it ain't the beast, man! Can't believe you found driftwood. How do you smell the ale over all that rotten...
The unfamiliar dwarf scratches his head nervously, then chuckles.
Hey, shh, keep it low. I don't need magisters crawling up my backside after I just emptied it out.
I'll be quiet as a mouse. You bet. Squeak, squeak, squeak.